What are some of the issues that family groups with family offices face? Loan agreements, assistance for children, and the importance or otherwise of them?
I'm a litigator by trade, and certainly people lending money without thinking about it, and having written agreements is a good source of litigation and not necessarily a good plan going forward. So again, you need to consider those things and what you're going to do, and get the advice, the legal, the accounting, the financial advice to have those agreements in place, how they're going to pay it, how it's going to work. Is it an arm's length transaction? Is there a financier involved? If it's not paid back, how is that taken into account in the family charter? All those sort of interactions, whether it sounds in shares or, if you're buying shares, or whatever the case may be. So again, it's such an individual thing, but the way people do it incorrectly, in my view, is just they don't get the advice up front. It's always after the event that it's so expensive and so horrible to fix up, whereas the planning beforehand can just save so much time, money, and tax, and all those sort of things. It's just it's getting the charters, getting the agreements in place.
The main issue that I find is that intergenerational transfer and making sure that succeeds as much as possible. So there's been quite a lot of research on that intergenerational transfer piece, and on average what we've seen is first generation to second is about 30% success, second to third is about 5% success, and then it drops off after that. So, but that's where it's potentially done in a less structured way. The idea of this is to have a really strong structure in place so that everyone's on board with what the family is trying to achieve over a longer period of time, and driving that, I guess, is alignment, making sure that everyone's aligned with what the family's wanting to do, and that's what the family charter is all about. And there's other pieces to do with that, to do with openness and those sorts of things, that everyone actually knows why decisions are being made in a certain way, and that information is being shared, freely amongst family members and things like that. But I guess where we find a major issue is around readiness, that oftentimes that we have, really strong, might be investment operations or business operations or combinations thereof, and it's run really well for 1, 2, 3 generations, and then the next generation has no interest. It's just not for them. They want to go off and do something else. They love the money, they love, the financial support, but whatever the family's doing, they don't want to do. I've seen that, for example, in agriculture, where the kids have gone to town for boarding school and done something else, and when dad tries to get them back on the farm, they're like, no thanks, don't want to do that. Or where it's just a business where maybe the family don't want to get involved, and certainly we're seeing that as well. So it can be really complicated.